It is. Is it okay if we record and put this on YouTube?
Absolutely. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, let's jump in with just your name and how you got started in skiing.
Okay. I'm Christina Karbula, and I got started in skiing in eighth grade. But I was thinking about this, after you kind of prompted me with, how'd you get involved in skiing and what made you passionate about it? And with the Olympics coming up, I thought about how, like, as a kid, I always watched the Olympics, whether it was summer or winter, always. And I was the kid that was, in my socks, pretending to ice skate in the kitchen or just doing whatever, trying to emulate the athletes I was seeing on TV. And my mom had an old pair of cross country skis, and I played with those kind of like on a little hill in the backyard. And that was like my very first introduction to skiing. And in eighth grade, I wanted to join the ski club at school. And I thought for sure my parents would say, no, it's too expensive and we're not doing that. But my dad had actually been into skiing in high school and shortly after that. And so he was excited to jump back in, and it was something we did together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So, your dad, where did you guys start skiing together? And did he like teach you how to ski?
No, so we did it through the middle school ski club,
Okay.
and our advisor that we had was really good. And one of his rules was if you're going to be part of my ski club, you're going to take lessons every week. If you want to just go out and ski and get your own pass, you can go out and ski whenever you want. But if you're going to be part of the club, you're going to be part of the program. So we started doing that at Clear Fork when that was still open.
Okay. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Was it you, like, did friends join the ski club as well, or did you do it like on your own?
No, I had a bunch of friends that were already in ski club, and I think that was part of kind of the draw for me. But
Okay.
I also really just thought it was something like kind of cool and like maybe a little bit exotic. Like not everybody learns to ski, and yeah, I was just really excited about kind of taking on a sport that seemed somewhat unattainable.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, when did you, well, I guess you said eighth grade. Uh, how did you guys like? How often did you guys come up? Was it like once a week?
Mhm.
Okay. And like, how many people were in that ski club?
I think we had about 30.
Okay, so that's a good sized group. Yeah, awesome. Um, what was it for skiing that really made you fall in love with it?
I
Once you
think,
started it, what
yeah.
kept
So I joined, and there were a handful of my friends that had also never skied before.
you? Mhm.
And I took to it really easily. Like I don't think I fell at all my first night out. And so that helped a lot, right? Instant success always breeds, enthusiasm, I think.
Yeah,
So that was exciting. And then like from there on, all the lessons were kind of like challenges to me. And I thought that was pretty cool.
interesting. Okay, I like that. I haven't heard anyone else say that. That's really interesting. Is it, I guess, were you progressing faster than your friends? Were like,
Yeah, I think so. And part of it, maybe a couple of my friends that I was learning with were guys. And I don't know if they were just more clumsy, or at least what I see now as an instructor is I think a lot of male athletes in like middle school age, up until that point, like brute force has worked out really well for them. But skiing is like a whole different animal, and there's a lot more balance involved. And I think like I had been really, this is, the mid 90s, right? So rollerblading was a really big thing. And we had a paved driveway, nice big paved driveway. And so I spent a lot of the summer, rollerblading on the driveway in my Christy Yamaguchi rollerblades. So I think there were some other things that kind of lended themselves to me being successful.
okay, gotcha. Did you do ice skating at all?
Um, Not until I did take ice skating lessons, but not till college.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Did you? How did that? work after was ski club? Was it through high school or was it just for grade school?
So it was through the middle school, but there were a couple of us that the advisor was okay with us participating even through high school. So I think at least my freshman, sophomore year, I still skied with them, with the club, took lessons.
Gotcha. And then what about college? How did that, did you take a break ever, or have you just been going hard since eighth grade?
No, I didn't ski as seriously so my first couple years I was at home. I went to the branch in Mansfield. So at that point, my dad was running a ski club through his workplace, and we were getting ski passes to snow trails. So we'd go out pretty often, middle of the week. But then once I transferred to Toledo, then I kind of cut off the skiing a little bit just because it was too hard to come back.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, so with cutting it out in college and going to Toledo, what brought you back into it? Did you move? I mean, obviously you moved from Toledo.
Yeah. So after Toledo, I moved back home. I started working locally again. Um, because dad had the ski club, we always got extra passes. So I was able to go out. But with work, it became a little bit harder to balance that time. Um, and then the real big break was when my dad passed away because it always had been something that we had done together. It
Mhm.
was just really hard to go out and do by myself.
Gotcha. Okay. So that played into taking the break.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Um, did you begin, like, as time went on, did you begin to go out with friends to make it easier, or how did that?
Um, Not really. It really took me kind of on a whim deciding that I wanted to be an instructor and then collecting like a whole new group of people um to ski with and having like a whole different experience with skiing. That's really what has brought me back with like a whole new level of renewed seriousness.
Okay, I was curious about that too, like how you got into the instructing side of things. And it was just like popped into your mind one day.
Well, so one of my dad's friends from growing up, they'd gone to high school together, then they'd been in the same golf league for like their whole adult life. Was Bob Glorioso, who ran guest services at Snow Trails.
Okay.
And so I'd reached out to him, like, how can I get into a club and maybe go out and ski a little bit? And so he passed along some information, and then he passed on, hey, we're still looking for instructors. That might be a cool way for you to get back into skiing. And I thought about it for a minute and I was like, that might be really fun.
Okay. Awesome. I love that. That's like how you came back in. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Um, what what about teaching? Have you always enjoyed teaching people or helping people? 'Cause, I mean, it's certainly not something for everyone. So I'm curious what it is about instructors as well that they continue to come back.
I always put instructors and ski patrol kind of on this pedestal, right? Because they kind of have this status on the hill. And I remember even making like a mock resume that we had to do in like ninth grade. And that was one of the jobs that I put on my mock resume. It's because I thought it was so cool and different. Um, but one of my favorite jobs that I've ever had has been doing new hire training at one of the manufacturing facilities I've worked at
Hmm.
and bringing new people in and really understanding from that perspective, like the amount of enthusiasm that you can breed in somebody else just by being enthusiastic yourself and creating a safe place for them to feel welcome. Um, and so in that way, there's a lot of similarities with ski instruction.
Okay. Yeah. There. I've never done new hire training, but I just I can imagine that there would be some crossover there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Uh, is it like I guess if you had to like chalk it down to a couple words, would it be like the people, the community, like the adrenaline rush? What about it do you find like most invigorating to like this is why I want to go ski. This is why I want to come back next season?
The skiing or the instruction?
I would say skiing first and then instructing
Skiing.
second.
I think there's something very freeing about it. Um, I'm not really an adrenaline junkie, so I don't think it's so much that for me. Um, yeah, there's a freedom and also like a sense of accomplishment.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. And then what about the instructing side?
Um, I mean, as an instructor, there's nothing more gratifying than having somebody who either thought for sure they weren't going to be able to do it or were just terrified to start, get to the end of a class session and just feel really excited about where they are. Like they've had a huge discovery, or even if it hasn't been huge, even if they've just conquered like a fear, having them be more excited than when they started, I think is just, the ultimate reward.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. I'm glad that I'm glad to get that information that like that's something that lights you up inside,
Mm.
helping people get to the next level. Um, that's awesome. Uh, as far as like how long have you been instructing for?
So 2 seasons.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
I didn't know you start. Okay,
Yeah, you and I
started the same
started
year.
together.
Okay,
Yep.
I thought for sure you were there like a year or two longer, but okay, that's awesome.
No, just because I'm old.
No, that's not why. No, and no, you're not old.
I'm not old.
No. Cool. Have you gone on any ski trips recently?
So at the very tail end of last season, I was able to go up with the group that went to Michigan.
Okay.
So Bill Clare and I skied together quite a bit. We skied Nubs Knob and both Boyne Mountain and Boyne Highlands.
I love the Highlands. Highlands is really nice. Nubs is great, and I haven't been to just Boyne Mountain. But how did you like Boyne? Because I've never been there.
I think I liked it better than the Highlands, but we skied more at Boyne Mountain than we did. Like we had a whole day there as opposed to like partial days at both the others.
Okay, gotcha.
And Nubs, the day that we were there, they were getting lake effect snow. So it was like this like really heavy slush that freezes right away. So kind of these like impromptu moguls were kind of forming everywhere with like no pattern or like rhyme or reason to them. They're just kind of everywhere. So it was a challenging.
Are you a mogul skier or not?
I want to be like it's one of those things I want to be able to do, but it also terrifies me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the first season I ever skied, we did an end of season trip to Seven Springs, and I'm out skiing with my dad, and we start going down one run, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know, this seems a little steep for you. Let's cut across. We're gonna go over to this other green run." And I said, "Okay, that's fine." And in between where we were and where we were headed were moguls, and he's like, "Well, just ski across them." I don't know if you ever tried to ski like across moguls.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not first season stuff. It didn't go well, and we're partway down, so I'm like terrified of, the Macs that are on the hill that are like flying down the mogul run. So ever since I've kind of been like, I don't know, they've been like this big scary thing.
No, they're fine. Ease up. It's all good. It's
Yeah.
like doing a little dance down the hill.
I think part of what bothers me about them right now is just that like you don't get a choice where you turn, like it's predetermined. And
Oh.
so like that lack of control is a little unsettling.
Well, I mean, just go across like two and then turn and back to. Well, I guess it's hard to snow trails because we have like
Three.
three. Yeah. Okay. I see where you're coming from on that.
Yeah. I played in them a little bit. I'm a little bit more comfortable than I have been in the past, but yeah, I have a long way to go before I feel like I can do moguls.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's another thing for you to work on and get
Yeah.
that accomplishment. That's sweet. Um, what would you say you're working on most in your skiing? If it's not, if I don't know if it is moguls or not.
Moguls were one of those things that like I wanted to tackle this season, and I felt like I at least got to the point where I wasn't terrified of them. Like I would go play on them. So that was a big like check in that I did it this season box. Angulation, something I'm constantly working on at this point.
Okay.
And yeah, just I don't know, on like just the next level of skills from where I'm at.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have your? Are you two?
I'm one.
You're
Yeah.
one. Are you going for two this year?
Well, this season's gonna be different. I don't know how much skiing I'll be doing this season.
Oh, really? Why's that?
Yeah. I found out actually about the same time we were headed to Michigan that I'm expecting. So I'm due in November, and I don't know how exactly that's gonna play in. I'd like to come out and ski a couple times, but probably won't be instructing.
Well, congratulations on that. That's
Well,
amazing.
thanks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have names picked out?
No, it is a boy, but I'm telling you, boy names are like the hardest thing to pick out. I feel like I've gone through 100 lists of 1,000 names, and there's like some that are like, it could work, but nothing that I'm like, that's definitely it.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, now you get to teach him how to ski, so
I know. I'm
that'd be,
excited.
yeah, I'm pumped to see him out there.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, excited for that. No, that's really cool. I don't really know. I don't know what else to say. Um, what would be some of your favorite memories of skiing? Either with your dad or like on your own or up in Michigan, anything.
Um, I think the most exciting trip I've ever taken, I did get a chance in college to go out to Utah. A friend of mine was living out there and visited for a little bit, like just how much longer the runs are and just like the hugeness of all of it.
Yeah,
Um, it's so impressive. I mean, like going from the Midwest to the real West, it's just such a huge step up.
yeah. Where in Utah did you guys get to go?
Snow Basin,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. I haven't been there. How'd you like that?
I liked it a lot. It had kind of more of the relaxed, like snow trails type feel to it rather than, the destination resort
Okay,
kind of feel.
gotcha. Is that on a pass or is it just family owned? Like,
Uh, this was like pre-passes, so I don't know what it's on now.
okay. That's nice to know that some of the bigger resorts out there still have that down to earth snow trails vibe.
Hmm.
Aren't big veil, you know.
Yeah, I don't think it's one of the ones that like most people think of if you're gonna go to Utah. Um, but they did do some of the Olympics runs there, and that was kind of cool. And I went not horribly long after they had the Salt Lake City Olympics. So, they still had all that set up in downtown, and I could kind of see where the runs were, and went to the ice skating rink where they did the curling competition. Like it's cool,
Yeah,
just to think about like the athletes that have competed there and that you're on the same hill or on the same ice.
yeah, sick. And what about like some dream resorts? Like maybe not bucket
Mm.
list, but just
Big Sky. I've seen it twice. I've never gotten to ski it. Once was in the very, very late spring, so it did have like some white still there, but yeah, I love Montana. Like it's just that area is beautiful.
mhm.
So that would definitely be one. And then having been to Europe a couple times, if I got the chance to ski in Europe, I think that would just be definitely like a bucket list thing to remember.
Anywhere in particular in Europe?
I don't know. I hadn't really thought that far. I just, if there's a chance to go and take my skis, I would do it.
Gotcha. Okay. I know Ryan went over to Zermatt and he
Yeah,
was only there for like a day, but he said it was amazing.
yeah.
That's definitely a dream for me to go over there.
Yeah, even just like to see the Swiss Alps, but I'm pretty sure if I saw like just like Big Sky, if I saw the Swiss Alps and didn't get a chance to like play on them, I'd just be like, well, I have to go back.
Hey, it's an excuse to go to Europe, you know. Let's
Right.
go for it.
Yep.
Yeah. Hike right up to Big Cool War and just send it off the top, right?
Sure, something like that.
Uh, that's great. Yeah, I don't really, I don't think I have anything else. I mean, I like to keep these short. I said like half hour max. Do you have anything else to add?
I don't think so. Well, I'll say like skiing is kind of a unique hobby of all the hobbies that I've had. Even though like it technically is a sport, I don't know that it's ever really felt like a sport. And I think that's part of I don't know, some of the draw because I'm not one that's been like a natural athlete. Like I couldn't pick up like a team sport and just be good at it. And the fact that I was able to do that with skiing kind of was like a special experience.
Okay, yeah. No, it definitely is different. I mean, like rock climbing is really the only thing. Rock climbing or mountain biking is like the only other thing that I can think of. You have that varied level of difficulty, and you can do it with multiple people. But even then, you got to go to like different, obviously different parks to get that.
Hmm.
Just go on the same mountain. But yeah, I like it for that reason. Definitely.
And you're competing with yourself,
Yeah.
but I think it's so much mental, you know, analyzing the snow and analyzing, your path as opposed to, like running your technique, which there's still technique involved, but I don't know, it's just different.
Yeah, granted I've never like done running as a sport. I hate to run.
Me too.
It seems like there's way more technique in skiing than there is in running.
Hmm.
At least I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But um awesome. I usually end these with like just a little advice. Like what would you say to people looking to get into skiing or the instructing side?
For skiing, I guess just dive into it with an open mind and a willingness to learn and an understanding that you're not going to be able to go down, Mount Mansfield day one. And then for instruction, regardless of where your skiing abilities are, there's always something that you can teach somebody else.
Absolutely. And teaching other people, I mean that like I don't know if it does it for you, but when I do it, I always discover something new. Not always, but like it gives me a better understanding, I feel like.
Absolutely. Yeah, you definitely look at the sport and the techniques and your own skiing totally differently. I learn probably just as much from the students as the students learn from me.
Yeah, same. I mean like really getting to like dive in and figure out like, okay, you need to work on this, and then it's like, oh, maybe I do too, because I kind of do that sometimes. Hmm,
Exactly.
interesting.
Or even if it's not application to your own skiing, you do something like you have one student that really struggles with one thing, and you find that one thing that worked for them, and all of a sudden you have a new tool in your toolbox.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, getting to add those exercises in where it's like you can't get it through to people, and then you, for whatever reason, or even like trying what other people recommend, like talking to the other instructors about
Mm.
ideas, that has been such a big help for me personally, and getting to getting my students to like break through to that next step.
Yeah, I love having excuses to be creative with it too, you know, instead of just going through the same old routine, you do this drill, then we do this drill, and everybody goes down in a line.
Hmm.
It's just fun to be able to, have somebody struggle and deal with that challenge.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love the lessons where it's like they're picking it up right away, but that, like you said, that little challenge where someone's struggling, that makes it fun. Because then
Hmm.
it's like problem solving. For some reason, that's fun. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
it's like a puzzle.
Yeah, no, it is. Definitely is. Yeah,
Hmm.
cool. All right. Yeah, thank you for doing this again. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Take care, and I'm sure I'll. Are you coming out to skate to ski?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I may be there for skate to ski. When
Right.
is it for us?
I think it's in September.
That's
September.
what I thought. Yeah. I will make an appearance,
No, I don't.
probably, but I will not be skating. No.
Right. I didn't figure. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll definitely be there for the cookout in a couple weeks.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna miss that unfortunately.
Oh, it's a bummer.
I
Yeah,
was.
you'll be in Canada.
Well, we'll be in like Traverse City at that point.
Oh, it's still
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. But I still miss like not seeing everyone for
Yeah.
months. But it's all right. Well, all right. Take care. Have a good rest of your night, and
You too.
we'll see you soon.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Bye, Christina.
Bye.